This is huge. Networked organizations. So the reason why I say this is huge is because, companies have already been disrupted by the internet, I should say entire industries, but a decentralized model of organizations, networked organizations, the networked effect are going to be just transforming every company in every industry. Maybe not every, but almost every. Let me explain a little bit. So Facebook is powerful because of its network effects of how many users it has, but also because of its user-generated content. And, in a traditional company, it was all about managing. It was all about, setting rules for your employees and watching them, supervisors, that's what they called supervisors. But in the future, because things are much more complex, there's a lack of speed when you do that. Like when you have 100,000 employees, if a manager has to approve everything, they become too bureaucratic and they become too slow. Also, there's a lack of trust. So the smartest companies have kind of like pushed the power down to the organization, cut out a lot of middle management, which is just kind of expensive, and, given power to the people on the ground, to make decisions. Now, there is obviously an executive function to oversee to a certain degree, but, for example, Bridgewater, who is the most successful, probably, or at least the largest hedge fund of all time, has kind of what some people think is somewhat of a radical, but is becoming increasingly utilized framework where they have radical transparency, they have radical candor, and people are expected to be problem solvers and to work together and to challenge each other in positive ways to solve problems, not just to show up to work and punch a time clock. And everything at Bridgewater is actually recorded. This eliminates politics, because bureaucracy is a lot of politics. People don't do their best job because they just want to, impress their boss or they want to keep their job. But if you take a lot of those dynamics out and you actually just reward good ideas and good performance, which is not easy to do, but in a networked peer-to-peer based system, it's much easier, then organizations transform. Organizations that are slow, that are bureaucratic. Now, you do have to have quality controls, but the way you have quality controls increasingly is through a peer network, because you have the wisdom of crowds, and one manager might be smart, but a whole group of people that are in that industry are going to be much smarter. So this is big. Network organizations.